That was a bad one. I'm holding. There you go.
Always forget to unlock this fucking thing. Alright, howdy everybody. It's gonna be a bit of an interesting little topic to discuss today. It's gonna be a fun one, I think, as well. We're gonna be talking about why do people not ride bikes? I mean, there's those who definitely like riding bikes, but are too scared to ride bikes. And we're just gonna be like kind of going over why that is. Like, obviously there is genuine reasons to be scared, but come on now. Generally, if you're riding quite well, a lot of the time, a lot of those fears are silly fears. You could be a young person actually who wants to ride a bike, but your parents won't let you. Because, like, I was sort of in that boat. They're like, if you want to buy a bike, you're gonna have to move out of the house to because where else are you gonna put the bike? And I was like, I'm gonna leave it here. And then one day I was like, I'm gonna go get a quote for the Rebel. And then they were like, ugh. And then when I came home, I was like, so I kind of bought the fucking bike, which is exactly how I did it. I just went out for a quote-unquote quote, and then I came back and I was like, yeah, so like, listen guys, I put a deposit down on a bike, and they're like, what? So that's how I bypassed that one. Now the thing being, my mum loves bikes, but she's just scared of them because they're dangerous. Now of course you might have some tales, you might know some people who've had some accidents, and I understand that, but it's not bad for everybody. And like Shade Tree Surgeon says, it's got two wheels, one day it's gonna fall over, and I get that. I mean, I've dropped my bike once, and I'm sure it's the first of many. You either drop it or you're a liar, or you haven't dropped it yet. So a big fear of riding the bike is getting into accidents, man. And like, I get it, being in a car, at least you're protected and all that, and on a bike you're kind of just not at all. You have no safety shell, no nothing, no protective barrier, no bubble wrap like you do in a car. And trust me, I've been in car crashes. I would know they're much safer than what I'd imagine a bike crash is. Well, a boss I used to work for had an R1, and then I think he said on his first tank of petrol he got into an accident. Yeah, so he bought a brand new R1, and I think he only had like 2 liters in the petrol tank, and he didn't even get to use the whole thing. He got rear-ended at a roundabout and then woke up in the hospital, and that was the end of that R1, unfortunately. See, stuff like that, sometimes it's unavoidable, because he wasn't doing anything, he was literally stationary, and someone came up behind him. Because if you watch Dan the Fireman's videos, you'll understand what people have when they, like, I don't know what the term was, I forget it every time. It's that thing where you're blind to an object because it's unfamiliar. Like, if you're looking for a car, you'll see a car, but you're not really looking for bikes, which a lot of people in cars are not, so you do have to be careful. So when you're riding around, there's a thing they like to teach you, and that's ride like you're invisible. And that doesn't mean fucking speed through everybody and be dangerous on the road. It means ride like no one can see you, so you want to be as defensive as you possibly can. Because if you're not defensive, well, there's a good chance that you might be in someone's blind spot, they'll change lanes and cut you off and all that bullshit. I've been there. I mean, I've been on was it a big ass road, one of the big main roads, Princess Highway here in Victoria, and I was on the furthest right lane, which would be the equivalent if you're in America to being on the furthest left lane, and someone turned in all the way across my lane from one side to the other. In front of me, some stupid old lady. Now, obviously, I saw it coming a mile away, because the more you ride, the more you can predict such stupidities happening. It's not like every time something bad happens, you don't know it. You sort of can tell. And if you're riding within the means of the law, you can usually get a pretty good grasp of where people are and where they're coming. But yeah, like I say, if you're riding within the the confines of the law, you typically see where the dangers are. Now, it's not going to happen every time. You might have someone turn out unexpectedly, and there are definitely just unavoidable accidents that are going to happen. Doesn't happen to everyone, but if you're unlucky, you're unlucky. And if you do see a car coming, well, you can't really do much except for chuck your leg in the air and pray that you don't get crushed against the car. But if you're just riding around normally, your chances of the accidents are definitely higher than a car. But come on, man, your chances of getting into a car crash every day is not exactly low. If you think about it, it's miraculous that there's that many people who can ride around every day and not crash into each other. It's honestly quite impressive. But when you're on a bike, you kind of have just as many ways to escape an accident as you do as getting into them. So like, when you're coming up to a stoplight, don't pull up behind a car. You want to kind of pull up. Now, if you're in a country that, or state that can't lane filter, which is under 30 k's, I don't know what that is in miles, because lane splitting is when you're moving over that speed, and that's illegal here. So when you can do that, just park up at the stoplight in the middle. That way, if someone comes up hard behind you, they're going to rear end the car and not you, which is, well, that's the ideal situation. If you get rear-ended on a bike, man, it can really fuck you back, and you don't want that. Another one is, well, one of the reasons I don't like sports bikes, and I guess it's an excuse in and of itself as well, is, oh, I don't want to get a bike because it's powerful and I know I'll be stupid on it, and like, I get that. If I bought myself a H2, I know I'd probably get in trouble, but that all comes down to self-control, and it's all within you. Now, you can ride those bikes at a track. If you're sensible, you can man it up in, or if you go out to the middle of nowhere, and I guess you can have a little bit of fun. So we have a place up in Northern Territory. I've never personally been, but that's it's got no speed limits up there, which is a good place to, you know, use a bike of that caliber. Still got to be careful, because you're going 300 and something kilometers an hour, and you see a kangaroo come out in the middle of the road. Well, let's just say it's not going to feel too nice when you collide with such a fucking creature. Let me tell you that much. Now, one of the benefits, remember, I mean, I know you can be scared of riding on that, but one of the benefits is if you're traveling quite a bit, petrol is fucking cheap, man. Because if you're filling up a Falcon or something, it's like $80 to $100 a petrol tank. Remember, a bike, this thing costs like $10 for a full tank of 98, which is the best like petrol we can buy at a petrol station here. Obviously, we don't get fucking 100, but just picture that, a full tank of 98, $12 to $20. For me, it's never been more than, I think, $14. That was the highest I've ever seen on my petrol tank, and that was me being like balls to the wall empty. But I've never ever seen it cost more than that. So if you're scared of riding, the best way to do it is there's courses you can do. So there's like pre-courses you can do down at the places that do the learners courses, just to get you on a bike and get you comfortable, because sometimes you might think you're for riding and sometimes you're really not. There are people that are too scared and they'll be just endangering themselves and other people on the road, and look, I get that. Not everyone is built for everything, I understand. But if you're just not comfortable and you just want to give it a crack, just pay like, I think it's like $150. You go down for like a few hours, they get you on the bike, teach you how it works, and you get to go for a bit of a ride. Like, it's a good little introductory course, and I don't see a downside to it. If you're on a farm or you're in the country and you got a dirt bike, I guess that's a good way to get interested as well, because you got big paddocks and stuff, you get the bush bash on the fucking thing, so there's no downside. Then if you fall off in the grass, it's not going to feel good, but it's definitely going to feel a lot better than falling on fucking bitumen, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, man, if you're scared of riding, why? If you're scared of other people, just treat it like you do in a car, but just be extra careful when you're on the bike, because remember, you're small. In a car, if you get stuck in a position, you can't really go very many places, because you can't filter, you can't do anything, you're stuck and you're going to get hit in some places. On a bike, it gives you the means to escape such situations, then they're dangerous. If your parents are the problem, just bring a bike home. What are they going to do? Disown you? They might say such things, but it doesn't mean they're going to hate you. Remember, they just want you, they just care for you. That's the main reason. They're not mad about, well, some people might, but like most times they're not mad about you buying a bike. They're mad because they're scared. And remember, if you're not a parent, I wouldn't understand either. I don't have kids, but like, it's just that paternal love stuff. I hate this area. Why is it 40 k's? But yeah, it's not terrible. Like, you just bring a bike home one day and they'll have to accept such things. It's not a bad thing to ride, and you gotta educate them, and just don't be a dickhead when you ride around, and then maybe they won't be as scared. Like, I've had fun on my bike, but I wouldn't say I'm a bad, like, stupid rider. I'd say I'm usually pretty safe the way I ride. I don't speed around every possible opportunity. The only time I really try and get away from vehicles is if I'm stuck behind like 3 trucks. I don't like being around trucks when I'm on the road. You get the wind blast and it's just a bit uncomfortable, and you notice it when you ride. Why do people build up 86s and BRZs, man? They're not good. Stupid cars. But yeah, man, like I said, you parents don't want you to buy a bike, buy one. Fuck it. Your life is your own choice sometimes, just fucking don't wait for the excuse to buy one, just buy one. If they're scared, well, that's fine. Calm down, Commodore. It's okay to be scared. Exciting things in life can do such things. They can make you feel certain ways, but the payoff is so huge. Riding a bike is one of the best things you can do in life, man. Twisties on a mountain road, twisties down the back streets, sunshine, sunny day, just get on the bike, go for a ride. Oh, there's nothing quite like it. It is cheaper than a car. Insurance is so much cheaper and all that good stuff. Like, in terms of cost, there's no real downside to owning a bike. But thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, troops.